Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think I have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See
I
this?
know.
How you cannot go
Baby,
here?
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Come on in, you guys. I miss you. I miss you so much. I had to come in here today. Today is Monday, you guys. 7/21/25. It is close to Christmas in July. Are you guys ready? Are you ready for Christmas in July? Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to start making plans because it's happening. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Freddie Johnson's first one in the building. Congratulations to you. Zena Turbert is number 2. And then we got Lisa Taylor came in here. Number 3. You all can't just makes me smile. Dana came in here 4. Dana, you almost got in here. Girl, you don't have to get on the board here. Dana's not on the board. Dang, Dana. You almost made it. She said, hey, family. Monique Hall. Monique, are you even on the board, too? All I see is the mods on the board. I see Dime a Dozen, Bruce, Carla, Jacqueline, Alma, May, Nancy LaRose, and Aries One. But everybody else, they're mods. They're mods. That's why y'all see the mods in there. They doing their job. they are doing their job. That tells me that they're doing their job. And you guys know the reason why we do the Christmas in July is because this is, we try to build the channel, and we only got so much time. We don't have that much time because I got to work. Now Friday we didn't come on, and the reason you thinking, man, did I miss you, SB, on Friday? No, we didn't come on. What happened was I had a doctor's appointment on Saturday. They called me Friday and was like, oh, this, that, and the other, and jump through the hoop and do the boogaloo and put your right hand out. And I couldn't do it. But, so I told them I don't want to deal with them because they're doing too much, and saying I said something that I didn't. You said I wish I could give more. Girl, you done did enough. Trust me, when we get to this point, we just a big family. And people say, well, let me tell you something. My mother told me a long time ago that you if you had two friends, just two, you got way more than enough. So, you know, it is what it is. When we can do it, we do it. When we can't do it, I just tell y'all, we can't do it. But God made a way again. Yes, He did. He made a way again. And we're doing it. Hey, Lisa Taylor. Lisa Taylor said, put me on the big list. She said, put me on that big list. I am going to donate. Uh, Lisa. Oh, man, my pen just went out. Okay, hold on. I got half your name here, and now my pen don't want to work. Let's see. Let me find a pen. One thing I learned about. Okay, I gotta write it in blue. I gotta write it in blue. Got you, Lisa Taylor. Got you. Thank you for the super chat. Got you in there. She said, put me down. Yes. Thank you, Lisa Taylor, for the super chat. You guys, it's all good. It is all good. Like I said, sometimes God makes a way out of no way. And yes, He did that. So I miss you guys. I really do be missing you. When I don't come on, and then woke the God that told me, she was like, you not coming on? I said, girl, it's too late. I done got this big old headache they done gave me about this appointment that everybody wanted me to go to this appointment. I wanted to go. They wanted me to go. I didn't want to go to these particular people. Cause and I think I told you guys I got to get a MRI done because of the headaches that I have, and they're just not going away. Sometimes I just got to sleep with these headaches. I was taking a lot of ibuprofen, and the doctor said don't do that. Anyway, I quit doing it, but I'm thinking that a little bit of it has to do with blood pressure. So I'm watching that and everything. When you get older, things happen. And plus, you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, and I know you know, but we need to take care of ourselves. But one thing about getting older is you gain all this unwanted weight that I don't care if you eat a grape, you gain 5 to 10 pounds, and you be like, dang, I don't even eat like I used to. But anyway, your metabolism slows down, and that has a lot to do with things gaining weight you're not used to, carrying around. So you got to do stuff like that. You got to, watch your weight, exercise, eat better. I went to the store yesterday, and I ended up, you know, getting a lot of good healthy food. I bought some not so healthy, but I bought most of it healthy. Anyway, you guys, I want you guys to know, hey, Tina Powers. Tina Powers done came in the building. She said, I'm here. You guys, Naziah Harris. I know you guys are going, dang, Naziah. But you guys, you know what? You get body aches you never had? Yep, you do. Yep, you sure do. You be like, your back be like, oh my goodness, like, and then arthritis come. My mom would call him Arthur. She'd be like, Arthur came last night, or Arthur got here this morning. I'm like, oh God. I mean, older people, they be something else. I don't want to be like, well, Arthur came last. I don't want to be like my mama, because I know what she said. But now I understand what she's saying. Like, you know, things are just gonna happen. Once you get older, things are gonna happen. You guys, but the good thing about the whole situation is it's getting closer to October. Yes. And that's gonna be my Christmas in July. You guys, sometimes people think just because you're not related to this young girl and you're not down there in Detroit, which, I mean, I would never, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Hey, Passion B, what's going on? I see you in the building. Um, I'm going to tell you, I don't never want to live in Detroit. I'm sorry. I hope I don't offend anybody, but it's horrible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, be honest, y'all. Have you ever seen a state that these kids come up missing? Nobody go check on them. They give them to anybody. They go to school. They laying on the floor. Nobody comes and see about them. They getting off the bus. Nobody makes a phone call and say that anybody missing. They wait till the next morning. I mean, and it's crazy. And they expect us to believe stuff like that. They expect us to believe stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I think, and I can't say for sure, you guys, but I believe that, I mean, when, because I'm not in Detroit, but no, it's unacceptable. It really is unacceptable. Everything nobody did. Put it like that. Because it was a whole lot of nothing. Not calling 911, getting up in the morning instead of going straight to the school, waiting till the afternoon, going to go do this and go pick up the laundry, go drop this off, go talk to such and such, go file a child petition. Just no urgency whatsoever. Oh, she with an older boy or whatever. Nobody called the police. The police don't get involved until February the 12th. Okay. See, And nobody is being, you know, looked at as being a responsible person. You know, they just say, I'm a little bit upset about that. And we just keep moving on. Of course, we do got to keep moving on. But, you know, this isn't that, you know, the piece of cheese was missing or the doorknob fell off and you can order another one. This is a whole person that is not here, that is missing, the lies that we heard. You know, when I go back and I look at some of the police press conference where they're standing outside doing searching, and you know, this one lady was like, you know, it's against the law to harbor a child. I said, what would make her say that? You know what would make her say that? That's because one of the family said, oh, we heard that she was with one of her friends or a family member or something. You had to tell a lie. And so they're thinking that sooner or later she's going to come home, or sooner or later somebody has her at her house, at their house or something. I mean, you gotta listen to, you know, what people say, but you know, they don't tell us what the family said when they talk to the family, what they believe, what they heard, what they seen, because the people that's up front knows more than anybody else. But if you're telling them, oh, I heard she was with some boy. Oh, yeah, that's somewhat of the truth, but you didn't have to hear it. I'm going to tell you guys something. Exactly, Lisa Calhoun, a whole child. A whole child. Let me tell you guys something. And we need to, I think I need to go check on Sanja Watts because I haven't seen her in the last two lives, but, and that's just not like her. We need to, sometimes when we don't see somebody, we need to at least go check on them to see if they okay. Let me make sure my phone is charged up so when I get off of here I can make sure she okay. The reason why this phone, I'm gonna have to get a new phone. This phone, I could charge it up and not use it and it be dead the next day. Like I gotta keep it charged. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Tina. Yeah, we all gotta pray and make sure, you know, our family member is okay. Anyway, you guys, they believe that if you don't even speak about her, then it will go away. Like, it will go away. I'm so happy that so many YouTubers and TikTokers and Facebookers put her picture out there, put her name out there, said something. That's why I told y'all at the beginning, I'm just going to say it, and I'm just going to tell it like a TI is. That's why I said to you guys that um, when you see other people speaking about Naziah, whether you in agreement with it or not, it's kind of best not to say anything negative, regardless of what they're saying, because at the end of the day, it's putting exposure out there. It's putting, you know, whatever they believe, whatever they found, whoever they talk to, is putting the child's face out there, putting her name out there, letting people know there's some crap going on down there in Detroit. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I know you guys already know this, but whether we're in different states or not, we need to start speaking up about our little children, especially the little black ones. And I'm going to say the reason why. I know all children, don't get me wrong, all children, but you guys, the black ones, when they come up missing, they get no kind of, you know, I mean, they might say something when it happened because it's news, and they get they it's almost like they're reaching for straws. Like if it gets some traction, then we're gonna say something about it. If it don't get no traction, because nobody cares. Nobody. I mean, and I'm gonna tell you, you guys ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I'm just being honest. Hey Corey, how you doing? You guys ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. Because every time when you come in this live, you need to share, share, share. Like the video and share. When you guys don't do it, you think you hurt me. You do hurt me in my heart, but you don't hurt me in no other kind of way, because we supposed to be grown. We supposed to be advocate for kids. And, you know, but when we come in and we just plop, we don't share, and then we wonder why people don't know. I run into people all the time. They be like, "I haven't heard about that. When did it happen? What happened? Y'all need to be sharing, because we're just gonna have to go and learn how to do that. That's why, and because sometimes when you're busy, that's why I come on, because you might be too busy to come on, show your face, talk about Naziah or whatever. But I'll do it. I'll be like, Lord, I'll do it. He don't ask you to do more than what you can do. I can guarantee you can do it. You know. Exactly. Thank you. She said, I shared on my Facebook. Thank you, Tina. Thank you. Because when they think we all forgot her, and I'm telling you, you guys think that this conversation doesn't happen. It does. You know what they say? They say, oh, don't go doing no interview. Stay off of Facebook. Um, leave super chat and Snapchat and all that stuff. Be careful who you talk to. And they are. That's what they do. Thank you, Ida. But yeah, I'm telling you. And and here's the thing. I'm not mad about it. It's just it's like, trust and believe. I always put myself either in the mama's shoes or in that child's shoes. And sometimes, I'm just being honest with you, I get sick in the stomach, because we want people to recognize and help when our children, especially the little black ones. Why do I say that? Because they get no kind of recognition. And then we be like, they don't even go look for them. They look for Amy. Well, you know why? Because you're not sharing. Um, I hated to say this, but I'm gonna tell you guys something, okay? I'm gonna say this because it's true. I didn't even want to tell my daughter. My daughter and I was having a conversation. She's trying to grow her business. She has a spa, you guys. She has a spa. And so she's trying to move into the downtown area where there's bigger, groups of people, and bigger building. She's trying to grow her business. And she went to go talk to this property owner that owns like 30, 40 buildings. Okay. She came back and she was like, "Oh, it was a good conversation." She told me all about it. And I almost tore her down, by saying, "Hey, you don't need to wait for this." And, the way that he spoke to her, she told me, the way he spoke to her, like, he was a gay white man and he let her know. The first thing he said was, "How's your day?" And she said, "Oh, she said, I'm not going to complain, you know. And then he says to her, "Well, I will complain. I'm a white man." And so she was telling me how he was expressing to her, even if she had, she needed to lower her prices. If she lowered her prices, it, or trying to get more out there, whatever. I didn't have to listen to it because I already know, you know, it's just best to have your own. And I was wanting my daughter to put that into her heart, like if I said the things that this man said to my daughter, she probably would never speak to me again. So, you know, these are the things our kids have to go through, you guys. Is it common? Is it normal that people talk to us like he said, you can put your business in the middle of central downtown, lower the price, give it away because it's catered to African American women, and you still won't make it. They won't come if you was giving it away. This is what he said to my daughter, basically. And I'm gonna say this, you guys. He's right. I hate to say it, but he's right. You couldn't give it away. You can put it for $2. Let me tell you what happened over the weekend that would amaze you. Okay. So first of all, I hadn't got a good deal. A friend of mine's called me and said, "Hey, some food stamps is out there," and I said, "Okay, let's go. Let's do this thing, whatever." Because okay, that's life, right? So, we get to the store. You guys understand what I'm saying? We get to the store and we go in the meat department, and those rolls of hamburger, I think they're 5 pounds of hamburger, and they're like $23, right? For a roll of hamburger. And it ain't even like 100%. It's like 100 over 70 or something. It's like 70% hamburger. I mean, it's very weak hamburger. But I mean, shoot, it's hamburger, right? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Okay? So I grabbed one of those, and then I walked down and this guy say, "You need to get these little bitty rolls over here." And what are the little bitty rolls? I don't even look at them. I think that they're like maybe a pound or something. I think they're a pound. The little bitty rolls, Everybody know what I'm talking about? Put a one in the chat. If you know what I'm talking about, put a one in the chat. I don't want to talk to myself now because I'm going to share something with you. Do you not know? Everybody walked around this hamburger. And so we was walking and and I always tell you, you know, what color they were, older they were, younger. It was an older white man. He picked up maybe 2 or 3 of these little bitty rolls and he said, "You ought to get these. They're on sale." Okay. Other people be like, "Well, I didn't come in the store to get a little bitty roll of hamburger or, whatever. Or whatever." She said, "I get them to make hot dog chili." Girl, let me tell you what happened. So, anytime somebody tell me something, they think I don't listen. I listen. I heard what you said. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to deal with whatever decision I make. Okay? This guy said, "You ought to get 1 or 2 of these." And I'm thinking to myself, well, that ain't going to really do too much for me, but I'm going to look. She said, it's 1 pound. Okay. So tell me why I picked up that little bitty roll of ground beef and it was on sale for 45 cents. 1 pound for 45 cents. That little bitty roll was 45 cents. I said 45 cents. Y'all, did y'all hear what I said? That little bitty roll, that 1 pound of ground beef was 45 cents a roll. And they had a whole bunch of them out there. Let me tell you what I did. I said, "Thank you, Lord." I took them all. She said, "It must have been about to expire." Yes, it was. It probably was about to expire, but I got a freezer that said it will not expire. As long as you freeze it, you good. When you take it out, you cook it. That's the rule. So I took them all. I had about 30, 40 rolls of this hamburger. You don't got to tell me twice. I was like, think about it. I got about 30 to 40 pounds of ground beef for maybe $15. $15. Did y'all hear me? When you get 5 pounds for $23, I got 30, 40 pounds of ground beef for like $15. So I took them all. I'm gonna let you guys know. You ain't gotta worry about it. What store it was? It was a Dillon's. I took every last bit, every last one of them. We finish shopping. We get up to the cash register, and the lady's like, "How many of these do you got?" 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 40, 45, because it's 45 cents, right? I really don't even have room in my freezer. I had to throw some stuff away just to make room. But I mean, that's what we do. I gave the dog a little bit of ice cream because there was a little bit of ice cream in there. Okay, get that out the freezer. Put some way in the back, make some shelving or whatever. I mean, we're gonna make it work. And I cooked ground beef yesterday. I cook it all just so that, we made Sancho and then, I refrigerated the ground beef that I cooked because we can make spaghetti with that or some stuffed peppers, whatever. But you guys, here's the thing. So I'm at the cash register, right? And in front of me, there is another cash register lady, you know, in her lane. And there was a white lady. She was probably in her 40s. She kept on looking. She was like, she was talking to her husband and she was looking back. She was like, I wasn't even paying attention to her because we were just doing our thing. You know what I mean? Anywho, she comes across her lane, almost where the cash register lady is standing, picks up one of my little ground beefs, and she was like, I just wonder, did you take them all? You know what I said to her? I said, yes, I took them all. Her husband just looked at her. She all in my business. I didn't have to tell her nothing. She's all in my business looking at what I got. Yes, I took them all. There's no reason for you to go back there because there is no more. I took them all. You only got to say something to me once. Whether it makes sense or not, I heard what you said. Okay? Anyway, you guys. Freddie said, now? So what if I did, Lisa said. Yeah, her attitude was nasty. My girlfriend was like, girl, you done made them mad up in here. I said, girl, we're going to be eating some ground beef for a long time. And if there was more than that, I would have took all of them too, because I would have got it for my daughter. And if it was more than that, I would have took them too, because I would have got it for my son. We wasn't going to leave nothing. If they had 100, I would have brought 100 and dropped them off at my daughter's house and my son's house. And if they had more than that, I would have took it over to my mother-in-law, which I don't particularly care for, but I would have got her, 40 to 50 rolls of hamburger for 45 cents a pound. Hey, there was no limit. They put them out and I picked them up. But I'm going to tell you guys something. We need to be the same way. We need to share like that. When we hear something, when we know something, especially when our children do not come home, we need to let people know. We need to share. She probably deemed them at first, but I don't know if she seen them at first. We had seen the guy putting the stuff down, but we didn't pay attention to how much the price was and why he was putting it down. Like I said, this older white man was like, why don't you just get these? He done already took him some. I'm telling you, and the way that they put it down, the 45-cent sticker was underneath. And I guess so you could see the label or whatever. But nevertheless, they don't just advertise, hey, we got meat that's on sale. Because if they would have had pork chops, I would have got those. They would have had fish, I would have got that. Yeah, it's so many things you can do. Meatloaf, spaghetti, chili. Corey say lasagna, hamburgers. Oh, yeah. Some beef mac. Some peppers, some sanchos, some tacos, all kind of stuff. Beef and macaroni, all kind of stuff. You'll always have a good meal with some ground beef. I'm just telling you. Like T.I. Tacos, that's what we had. We had sanchos the other night. But I'm going to make some, maybe some chicken and rice tonight. But she said Taco Tuesday tomorrow. Taco Tuesday. Exactly. So you guys, that's how we should be when we are talking about Naziah case. We should spread it. Get it all. They should be, these people in Detroit should be so embarrassed about what happened because it is crazy how this little girl got to be unseen, unnoticed, unmissed, unhelped her whole freaking life. And you guys just walk around like it ain't nothing. I'm not saying go put your hands on nobody. I'm not saying that. But they should be so embarrassed that they wouldn't even go outside. Do you know Wayman came in here the last time we was on Wednesday and said that Shannon was at the nail shop getting, she done went to the nail shop. Like it ain't nothing. Like, I need to get my nails done. Girl, you know, that's a blessing and you accepted. I sure did. I said, thank you, Lord. Girl, I was smiling all the way out the store. Matter of fact, the basket was so full. We went and put everything in the back of the SUV. And then we went back in the store to finish our shopping. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you. She was like, oh my God. She said, girl, you hit it at the right time. She said, you hit that at the right time. You got a blessing on top of a blessing on top of a blessing. Yeah, I think I've got some Spanish rice mix. I normally make my own Spanish rice, but I'm gonna try this new little package thing. And I'm gonna have baked chicken. I'm not gonna have fried chicken, you guys. I'm gonna have baked chicken because I'm trying to eat a little bit more. Carla says yes because a lot of people still never heard about Naziah Harris case. Exactly. Do you believe they inbreed people? What do you mean inbreed? What do you mean? Hey, woke the God, I see you in the building. So yes, yes, yes. Sometimes if we share, we can do a lot of helping just if we shared. You guys agree? Incest. Yes, yes, yes. But when they're out walking around, going to the store, getting their nails done, going bowling, up there, and I know they gotta still live, you guys. But I mean, let me share this with you. And you know, it's kind of like I'm just gonna be honest. When my mom passed away, natural death, of course. I couldn't even get out of bed, let alone if a child of mine had passed away. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of you guys done had a child that has passed away. And, um, you know, I believe I don't have to walk in somebody's shoes to know. Like, there's no way in the world I can feel the pain. But I guarantee you wouldn't be walking around going bowling, getting nails done, and just living the life. Yeah, I don't think so. I think you can barely freaking get out of bed. You know what I'm gonna tell you guys something. I'm serious. I love my mom. She wasn't the best mom in the world, but when she passed, I don't even think I took a shower for like. I know I was funky for like, and I had to still raise my kids, but I just couldn't even get up. I'm just telling you guys, I just couldn't even get up. You know? Corey said, I lost 3 of my babies, have 2 grown now, shut down when I lost mine and I was young. I have no, ma'am. Couldn't do it. Yeah, just funky. Girl, I didn't. It was the last thing I thought about. She said, my daughter passed away and I still have bad days. Yeah. Over 30 years ago, but it still hurts. Yeah. 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 So, I mean, I know you still gotta live, you know, and you gotta take care of the kids. You gotta get up and take a bath. You gotta get up and go to work. You got to. She said, when my daughter passed, I was just going through the most. I know you got to, but it is so hard. It's like, oh my God, like you got to go pay a bill. Man, I mean, you can fall behind so fast. You can lose out on the world so fast. And a whole year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years pass by. You be like, where did it go? I didn't even. And then you realize that you're still grieving. And the only thing you probably do is go to work and you don't want to do the extra stuff. There's no way in the world you want to sit down, getting your nails done, going bowling, going to the park, partying, dancing, doing the little huckabuck dance, to the left, to the right, to the left, left, right. There's no good days. I'm telling you guys, everybody that has lost somebody, especially a child, knows you're not gonna go bowling. You're not gonna get your nails. I'm just saying. Everybody, people be like, as people grieve differently. Don't do that. See, politically correct, you're correct, but we grieve. Okay, Dumbo, we still grieve, and when you care, and it's a crazy missing or death experience, that even puts more weight on it. It's different when it's just natural. You guys understand what I'm saying? But when you don't know, like when you don't, it's just crazy. And when it's a homicide or something, like somebody did something to your loved one, it's horrible. I mean, it's like 10 times just y'all, I can't even explain it. I can't even explain it. Huh. You know? Especially if you didn't help the child. Like you could have been there and you could have helped. You could have made a 911 call, said, hey, this is Shannon, and my niece did not come home last night. How old is she? She's 12. She was wearing her school uniform. She got off the bus. Or see, they didn't even know she got off the bus. They didn't even know if she left school. They didn't know if somebody picked her up at school. All they knew is she just didn't come home. Did you even know that she went to school? No, you didn't even call the school. You didn't even call the school to check to see if she was at school. Oh, we'll just call in the morning. We'll take it up in the morning. Shannon said, I asked my mom what we do. My mom said we take it up in the morning. And this is how our children come up missing. So when everybody say they don't look for the black little kids, they don't do this. Yeah, well, look at ourselves because we don't pay attention. I mean, even somebody came in here just last Wednesday and was like, SP, why don't we talk about something else? Why don't we talk about another kid? I don't remember who it is. They could be still in here and be mad at me for saying this, but I said it the best way I can. No, no. Naziah is on my mind. Naziah is on my heart. No. And until I can get her out of my system, I'm going to say her name every time I can, and I'm going to show her a picture every time I can, because this should not be happening. And it's not like, oh, there's not other stuff happening. It's just this should not have happened. And I don't know how, we think, let's just move to the next story. It's so easy to do. It's not. I have not forgot about this little girl. She's not mine, but she is ours. Y'all, if you don't have no kind of valuables to the kids that we are raising lives, you ain't got to birth them and do the pregnancy. They're kids. They're not supposed to be touched. Do you guys not know that? Kids are off limits. They're off limits. And that's one reason why we keep this channel open, so we can express ourselves. You know? And because we know channel 3 ain't going to do it, 10 ain't going to do it. And the first thing they say is, it's going to trial and we can't talk about it. Yeah, you can. The judge ain't put a gagging order on nothing. You can talk about it. You can talk about it all you want. Let me tell you guys something. There was a case, and I think it was not Cody, but King Hill case. And so Marvin and his girlfriend had came to me, and they was wanting to give me the interview exclusive. They was only going to talk to me. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember that? Remember that? And so we got to get in the interview, and first people was like, SP line, SP line. Marvin ain't said this. Marvin ain't said that. Marvin this, Marvin that. Marvin ain't said that Marvin was the stepfather, that he thought the child was his, because that's what was told. But anyway, nevertheless, right? So people came from Facebook and all around. SP just lying. I said, no, I done talked to him, and he said this, y'all, and he said that. And I recorded everything he said. So, if I wanted to throw it out there, I never did. I just kept telling everybody what they said. They was just throwing me underneath the bus. They was like, SP just lying. I said, okay, he finally said, I will come on and speak. I said, oh, okay. And I was happy that he was going to do it, because if you got nothing to hide, if you didn't do anything, then why are you not talking? So anyway, he came on the channel. Well, first, people kept on telling me I put out a video to let everybody know that he was coming on. Do you know so many people DM me, called me up, and said it's an ongoing investigation. He can't be talking, SP. He can't be talking. Let me tell you something about people. When they know a very little, they want you to do what they say do, and they don't even know the whole situation. They think they know, but they don't know. So you can listen to people, or you can say, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, or whatever. Which that I was going to do that anyway, but nevertheless, I'm just trying to tell you guys. So many people reached out to me and said, "Oh, you can't be talking to Marvin because he's a witness and da 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 and da 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 da." I'm like, "Yeah, you can. I can talk to him as long as that judge ain't put a gagging order on the case. I can talk to anybody I want. And if the judge put a gagging order on them, guess what? He didn't put a gagging order on me. I could say what I want to say." But the judge didn't. Everybody was like, they're gonna move it to another court. They're gonna change venue. Y'all stop. The case is not big enough to move. I mean, y'all hear stuff and then apply it to, and I'm saying y'all, but not everybody in here. Some of you guys have been around long enough that we know the basics now. Exactly. How's somebody gonna tell me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I talked to that man and he came on, you guys. I don't know if you guys remember, but he came on. And the first thing I said is let's clear the air, Marvin. Let's clear the air. He said, "Yes, ma'am." Very respectful man. Very respectful. I said, "Now I've already put out a video about what you told me and what I said. Is there anything that I said that you didn't say?" He says, "No, ma'am. Everything I said is what you said." "Yes, ma'am." I said, "Let's clear the air for those naysayers that wants to come in here and say SP lying and why we gonna believe her and that. You ain't. I didn't tell you to come in here and you got to believe anything I said. I said this is what he said, and I wrote it down. I recorded it and went back and wrote out a transcript of everything he said. You can believe it or not believe it, but that'll be your choice. I didn't sit there and waste my time trying to make them believe that I was speaking to him almost every day and his soon to be wife. It was crazy. A whole channel came over here from Facebook. A whole channel. We have 3, 4, 500 people in the house. Yeah. You know why? They shared the information. Now, realize what they shared was some nonsense about me. They didn't share the truth. They shared, oh, SP, this raggedy little channel called SP News Nugget is saying she done talked to Marvin, the stepdaddy, and he said this. She's a liar. Let's go over there and destroy her. She's a liar. And you know what? We kept, since when I talked to him and he wasn't ready to come and talk, I just said, well, whenever you're ready, but I'll tell him what you said. And I'm going to tell you something. He got tired of them picking on me. And guess what? I kept my word. Because I could have easily said, here's the recording, you guys. See? I could have. But I didn't. I didn't do that. But I tell you, when I talk to someone, I have spoken to them. Whether you believe it or not. I done came to a part in my life that if you don't believe what I say, like if you really think I'm a liar, you really need to get out of here. Because I don't like for anybody to even discredit my whole, like who I am. Now, that could have been me a long time ago. I probably would have told you anything when I was a child, 20 on down, I didn't have a relationship with the Lord. But do you honestly think that I would jeopardize me getting into the golden gates into heaven to lie to you for a click or a view? I wish a nigga would. No, no, can't do that. Sorry. It's not that serious. It's just not. So she said, I'm a witness. Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not perfect. Now, if there is a reason, if we're trying to pull somebody out, we might say something to try to get that person to come out. I don't say, we ain't done that. We have done that. And we pulled them out the bushes. We pulled them out the bushes and we got them to come on in the building because they had to correct something. Well, we already knew the truth. We just knew that they were in the bushes. We knew that they were watching. So we just said something to rear them up for them to come on out and talk to us. Like April and Nolan and all of them and Calvin and all of them, Yeah, because we're not down there in Alabama and we wanted to know where Cupcake was and who did what to Cupcake and where you were at, April, while you sitting there talking about all I did was dropped her off at the birthday party and went. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. That case is horrible. That case was horrible. Because you know what? Who in the world drops a 3-year-old at a birthday party by themselves and get in the car and go have sex? It's almost like it's a setup. But you guys just really just didn't want to know about it. Jacqueline said, when you said you spoke to Tawana Butts, I believed you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's recorded. And it's recorded. Because anytime, I tell people all the time, okay, you know what? People be like, I'll tell you what she said. You can believe me or not. But I've learned that I don't have to prove anything. You know? I mean, when I did speak to her, I'm going to just be honest with you guys. And I'm just human, just like you guys are human. I just wanted you guys to know, like, I think I make okay decisions. I think I do pretty good. Some people be like, no, you don't. Well, everybody has their opinion about what you do and what you don't, or how you are, or you might think more of yourself or whatever. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. When I spoke to her, let me share with you the truth. When I spoke to her, at first I was very happy that she even spoke to me. I'm just being honest. I was just so happy that she spoke to me, to hear her voice. And then she was a little angry at first because she thought I was going to troll her. And so she was being a little defensive. And I get that. I understand. And I just let her know. No, no, no. I'm not here trolling. I just want to just talk to you. Just tell me. Just tell me. Because I want to understand. You say you were there. How did that happen? Why was you there? And she told me. She told me exactly what was going on with the car, and And, and I'm not going to sit there and badger somebody. I want them to speak. And she spoke. And we talked for 5 to 6 hours. Only one time. I tell you guys, it only take one time. I literally had to call Woke to God. Yeah, yeah. Asked her, she's in the building. I called her on my other phone while I'm recording and said, just listen. Don't say nothing, just listen. And she figured it out. And she got to hear like 70% of the conversation. She said, SP, you knocked this out the ballpark, didn't you, girl? I said, girl, I was so nervous when I got off that phone. I mean, it took from like 10 o'clock until like 4 o'clock in the evening. We was on that phone and we was listening to everything she had to say. And we was just listening. We wasn't sitting there judging her. We wasn't sitting there accusing her, just asking her the questions, asking. And she answered every question. And when I got off the phone with her, I didn't speak about it for like maybe 2 or 3 days. Like, I just couldn't believe that she even spoke to me. It was almost like she was a celebrity. Like, she spoke to me, you know? Her inner feelings, her, personal things, you know, that I have not shared with you guys, you know? That's why when somebody came in here and they was like, her family, what was it? Kenya was like, her uh, 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 his, Jarvis's family is trolling us and da da da. I was like, no, they not. That's the first thing y'all heard me say. No, they not. I know for a fact they're not. Because everybody's following Tawana Butts. She'll speak on it. You're not gonna get his family on your podcast and all this other stuff. And when I got off of it, I kind of just felt, when I got done talking to her, I felt sorry for her because, she was saying people were, you know, you know, saying things and doing things, and things, and all she did was the right thing. And I was like, yeah, because we do get burnt. The minute we do the right thing, we be like, well, dang, for doing the right thing, y'all coming and attacking me. And I didn't have to. This is what she said. She did say that. I didn't have to do that. I called them. They didn't call me. I didn't have to call Shannon Jones. I didn't have to. They didn't know nothing about me. And at the time, a lot of information hadn't been, okay, it was out there, but I hadn't soaked into it and ingested it. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like, really sit down and go over the transcript of what you said in court and how you called Shannon and how you called how the baby mama called you and how you look at the podcast and you didn't have, and I'm gonna tell you guys something. We went over it and over it and over it. And I kept going to sleep at night thinking about everything she said and how she said it. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. And woke the guy to tell you this. Ask her. She's in the live right now. Ask her. I went from embracing this woman, loving on her, like really believing everything she said, and just the more we went over the information, I couldn't let it go. I just kept going over it and over it and over it. To now, I don't feel so friendly to her. And it's because I've had time to dissect the transcript. It's nothing she did, nothing. She ain't said nothing else. She ain't talked to me again. I ain't even really tried to call her. Now I think one time or something, I think I did try back. That's when my feelings started going, a different direction. And then sometimes that may happen because you want to talk to the person again and they're like, no, I'm not talking to you ever again. You done already said too much. And I probably have. But I'm going to be honest with you. At first, I felt like, yeah, that can mess up the case. So I ain't that I hide anything. I just felt like it can mess up the case. Now I'm thinking to myself, it can't mess up the case because, it just can't. He's going down no matter what. So I got to thinking, like, I just don't understand. And it does make a big difference of when they asked when she thought that she seen Naziah. And when she called Shannon and Shannon Jones and said she was there that day. Because when they asked her that question, she said it was way before the podcast. She said it was way before the podcast. And they said, well, when then? Is just a coincidence that it was before? Is it something you heard or is it something that you know? And she said both. And then they said, okay, explain to us how is it both? She said, it's something that I heard and something that was told to me. And I was saying to myself, shut now, hold on. When you said it was both, then you're going to say it was something you heard and then something that was told to you. They said, did Jarvis tell you? And when she said no, they was like, Of course she's going to answer that question and say no, because that would make you an accessory, right? And I don't know if he said something to her or not. I don't know. But so, I got to start thinking and I was like, well, it was before she seen the podcast. And King had already told her she was there. And that's why I told you guys before this other baby mama came out and said something. I told y'all that. I said, one of his kids is going to come out that he done touched this other kid. Because I figured it out. That baby mama had to done told her. It ain't something that like, oh, I have this crystal ball. You guys hear what I'm saying? That's something that she said. I didn't have to figure it out. It's something that she said. So I knew sooner or later it was going to be a part of this case. My problem was it the two girls that was already gave their testimony? Because I don't know what was said, but I know that baby mama done talked to Tawana. Because Tawana said on the stand, after talking to the baby mama, that's when she started putting two together. You guys understand what I'm saying? And then she said, then she called Shannon. So we wasn't talking about Shannon kids. That was the whole thing. We wasn't talking about Shannon kids. So that's why I told y'all, it ain't Shannon. Y'all was like, I said, I'm not saying he ain't touched that little girl that Shannon's got over there, one of Shannon's kids. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying right now, we're not talking about that child. We're talking about an older child, a child from a whole different baby mama. And so you gotta, and maybe Tawana felt some way because the little girl said this was her first time seeing her dad since he got out of prison. And Tawana Butts picked her up and took her over to her daddy's house. And I guess he felt like, well, let's get you in the tub, give you a bath, and lotion you down. Let me rub this lotion all over your body. This girl, 8 years old. Why you lotioning down her? I mean, she really didn't have boobs or whatever, but still, she's a child. She's a little girl. You ain't seen her. You don't know her. Why you sitting there lotioning this child down? Like, like who freaking does that? You're a big grown man. And then she had a onesie. He takes the onesie. Oh, no, you don't need to be wearing the onesie. Here, put this t-shirt on. Just like Henry Dinkins. Go put that t-shirt on. I wouldn't, girl, I wouldn't, you know, that's some sick stuff. I feel some kind of way. Even if a child needed lotion, you let them put the clothes on and you lotion their arms and their legs. You don't go lotioning their whole body down. It's just crazy. But anyway, I mean, it can go both ways for, Tawana Butts. I'm just saying, like at first, when I first spoke with her, I was 100% like, hey, she did a good thing, great thing. And then now the more I hear and, elaborating on the testimony and then the new testimony, now I now know Because she didn't come out and just say, hey, this. It wasn't like that. It was kind of like, you know, fill in the blanks. But you know how she talked, you guys. She thinks before she speaks. I don't think the little girl was dirty. I just think he had a dirty mind. You know what I mean? Anyway, you know, like, and I know, you want to think the best of your people. You know, you don't think, hey, you will touch your own child. So I'm not even blaming her. I'm thinking she probably blame herself. You know, I'm just being honest with you. I think she blames herself. To be honest with you, I think if I was her, I would blame myself. So I know good and well she feels some kind of like, bro, I love you and everything, but you doing too much. And the girl probably just, they sending me over there, and he's my daddy. He my daddy. So probably ain't nothing wrong because he my daddy. I mean, mama see you naked, but I'm not no little girl, but he tell me to put this on. She ain't gonna sit there and say, no, I ain't gonna put that on, and did it, why I gotta, making something out of nothing. You guys understand? So because she's 8 and that's her father, of course she did what her father told her to do. But she was feeling some kind of way. She knew, like, why he gotta lotion me down, rubbing my butt and all between my legs and my back, and like, why? And then we go out and then we come back. I got my onesie on. He tell me take off the onesie and put on a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you guys something. We just need to talk to our girls. We really do. Just call home and tell your daughters, tell your grandchildren, call home and say, Mom, Grandma, I don't feel comfortable. Can you come and get me? I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to get off of here because I remember one time my son called me and said, hey, Mom, can I spend the night over Matt's house? And I said, I don't know Matt's family. He was like, Mom, they only live like maybe a block and a half away. And I said, well, where at? And he was like, right here on such and such street. Let's say 20th Street. And I was like, and he was telling me, it's over there by the highway. As soon as you pass the highway, is that little house right there, Mom? And I said, but did his family say it's okay? He said, yes. I said, okay, son, keep your phone on you and everything. Oh, we're just gonna play the Nintendo and, you know, eat cake, whatever. So I'm at home, off from work, and I'm laying in the bed in the middle of the night. It was like maybe 11, 12 o'clock. My phone rings, and I see it's my son. So I answer the phone and I say, hello. And he says, Mom. And I said, son, why are you whispering? He said, Mom, listen. I said, what? He said, Mom, I'm in the bathroom. I said, why are you calling me whispering in the bathroom, son? He said, Mom, his whole family is in the living room and they're talking about me. I said, what do you mean talking about you? He says, well, Matt's white. And then his grandpa and his grandpa friend and his mama and his auntie, they in there drinking and they're talking about this ninja. I said, what ninja? He said, me. They said the black ninja. And they be looking at me weird. I said, son. He said, Mom, I'm going to come out. Then I'm going to come back in here because they got a window in the bathroom. I said, they got a window in the bathroom? He says, yeah. He said, I'm gonna climb out the window. Can you come and get me? Yes. I promise you. I promise you, my son made that phone call home. And I said, I'm on my way. And it was snowing outside. Do you know my son went out of that window with no shoes on? I'm driving up the street, and yeah, it took me a matter of maybe 2 seconds. I was on that street. I see my son running down the street, no shoes on, in the middle of the night, and snow on the ground. He was scared. My son was scared. He said, something's going on. Something ain't right. He said, Mama, you come down the street. Oh, I didn't even have to make it to the house. He was halfway home by the time I got there. You know what I told my son? I bet you won't do that no more. That's a true story, you guys. I promise you. Scared the daylights out of me. I'm like to myself, here we go. Watch your kids, you guys. When a kid tell you something ain't right, pay attention. Go get them. Don't be sitting there, you got yourself in it, so get yourself out of it. No! Shoot, you put on your crazy suit and you go out the door. If your crazy suit is just your bra and your panties, you go out that door and go get your kid before you got a problem. So, yeah, we learned something that year. My son said, I will not do that again. I couldn't tell my kids when they were young, growing up in a diverse community, which is like 1% black, 99% white, that you are different. You don't look like them. You don't eat what they eat. You don't act like them. You don't think like them. Yeah, you're different. Your color is not the same color as them. So when they say, gee, Mom, I don't want to clean up my room, you go screw yourself. You can't do that. Because if you talk to me that way, you'll be picking up your face off the floor. When I say go clean your room, you say yes, ma'am, with a smile on your face. That's what you do. You can't be like Jimmy and Bob and Matt. You can't do the things Jimmy and Bob and Matt do. You got to be in at a certain time. That's why, son. And when you get pulled over by the police, you put your hands on the we've all had those conversations. And if you didn't have them with your kids or your grandkids, you need to have them because it will save their life. See, just because it didn't happen don't mean it couldn't have happened. If your child feels like there is something wrong or going on, you get up. No matter if it's a job, no matter if it's in the middle of the night, no matter you just got home and laid down, you get up right then. Don't be in regret. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know what I'm saying? Naziah Harris, shoot. Oh, she just with some boy. Oh, she just laying on the ground. Oh, she'll be back tomorrow. She just with, Now everybody's sitting there wondering where the heck she at. And 90% of the kids that are still missing or we find them deceased somewhere is because someone did not take them seriously. Someone looked at them and said, oh, they just wanted some attention. And even though that they put themselves in a bad situation, you still got to get up and go see about the child. Because even though they may not have all the details right, you guys, something ain't right about that milk. And when something ain't right, you get your butt up. You guys understand? I told my son, I said, you'll remember this. He said, Mama, I was scared. I'm like, son, what was you scared of? He said, Mama, all the things they were saying, and I was there. I said, yeah, it exists, son. And now that, we have the president that we have, it exists a little bit more. People a little bit more bold with it, and it kind of makes me sick in a way because, and the only thing that makes me sick is that we are actually a very loving group of people. We forgive. We have been done so wrong that we have to raise our kids in a scary way. They don't. I don't like raising my kids to be scared to go out in the middle of the night just to go get a loaf of bread or whatever. I don't like it. But we have to tell them that every time when you get in the car or whatever, hey Zena, I got you, Zena. Zena did a super chat. I got you down, girl. You doing that thing. She did it last time. Yes, you did. I got to write it in blue. Zena said, I'm going to get a ticket one way or another. Got you down. Thank you for the super chat. Let's give you a super dance for the super chat. We appreciate it all the time. Thank you, Zena, for the super chat. I got you down. I'm just telling you guys, it really don't matter what color, and because we do the same thing too. We'll have a big group of, cousins and friends and family over, and a white kid come over, and we're a little bit more accepted, for them. But I'm just telling you, like we can make them uncomfortable too, So it actually works both ways. I just can only tell you what happened in my kid's life. Yeah, I hear you, Freddie. I done picked up my kids. They done went to a concert and then they started macing or at the smoke bomb or whatever, the party. And here I am running downtown to get my son. And he's like, he got sprayed all in the face. I said, I bet you won't go back down there again. He does, but I don't. But they find themselves in a bad situation, you will come running. Or you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Thank you, Zena, for the super chat. You guys, so I'm just saying, don't get mad at me because I, want to share, Naziah, because at the end of the day, you know, I know there's other kids coming up missing and all that other stuff, but Naziah is almost like my baby. Even when I'm in relaxed mode, I don't know, you guys, when I'm in relaxed mode, I mean, I'm not really like, I can't say that I'm not mad at Tawana Butts. I'm not mad at her. I just believe that she found herself in a bad situation because she trusted her brother of what he told her, why he was in prison, and um she didn't see him as a pedophile, you know? But you know what, you guys? And I'm going to say this. That's why I think she feels kind of bad. You know what I mean? Because she didn't see her brother as a pedophile, you know? People be like, you think bad of me? Did it? Let me tell you something. Sometimes we have to get people out of our ear because they want you to do things the way they will do them. And I don't want to have to go down that broken road and explain to my daughter or my son why this happened to you and I wasn't paying attention. And, you know, I mean, you can't stop everything. And so I don't blame her. Like, if you don't know, you just don't know, you know? But, yeah, I don't blame her, but I know she blamed herself in some kind of way. She has to. She didn't do it, but nobody seen this monster. Nobody knew that he was dating this girl, and this girl is all over in the car, out the car, in the car, out the car, in the car, out the car. What the heck? You must have been somewhat concerned because you asked the question, who is she? See, that tells me something right there. You knew something wasn't right. I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying I know that she has to feel some kind of guilt because people telling you this, people telling you that. She went straight to King, and King said, "Oh, that was Naziah, and you were there. And you were there? That would have shook my whole world. I was there? What the conversation wouldn't have been like, oh, I was there. Okay. Well, nice talking to you, King. No, that they couldn't tell us because it was hearsay. He said, and I said, but they wanted us to know what Jarvis said, or they wanted us to know what Shannon said and what Annette said. What Annette asked, did she make it home? But when it came to, okay, you went to the shop and you talked to King, why did you go to the shop? To see what was going on. So your whole agenda was to go to the shop to see what was going on because King had been picked up. Now, here's the funny thing: your brother is only in jail because he turned himself in on a gun charge. So you wanted to know, why was King picked up? Did you want to know why King was picked up? Or was you concerned what King said? Now, I, I'm just going to say this. You wanted to know what King said. You wanted to know what was going on. King said you didn't come. But you went ahead and said, yeah, I was there. King told me I was there. King said that was Naziah and you were there. What do you mean? What do you mean? That would have been the next question. King, what do you mean? That was Naziah. The only little girl I seen was my nieces and that little girl that wasn't my niece that one time. And he said, yeah, that was Naziah. I my whole head would have been spinning. I would have been looking like buckwheat. I would have been like, what? What do you mean that was Naziah? I would have been looking at him in his eyes, and the conversation would have continued. Yeah, that little girl you seen that night jumping in and out of the car, that was Naziah. I would have been like, King, what the heck are you talking about? See, when you replay it in your head, you know the conversation didn't stop with just that was Naziah and that's it. And King would have said, that's Shannon's niece that has been missing. She was here to see your brother. That day you wanted to get your car fixed or looked at. Now she knows what King said to the police. If he told it to her, she's sitting there thinking, well, he gonna tell the police I was there. Jarvis' sister was there. Now, people could say what they want to say, but if I know that I was there, I'm not going to sit there and think because they have not came to get me that they don't know. You just told me I was there. So for me, I'm going to have to call them before they call me. I have to get my horse in front of the carriage and call Shannon Jones or the investigator and say, on that day, I think I was there. I was told I was there. I really don't even remember. All I remember is I did show up at it, da 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 da. But you didn't call right then. 2 weeks then went by, then you called. And then that's where I sit back and I go, I know you guys, we get shocked. We don't know what to do. I'm not saying she had anything to do with anything. I'm just saying I would have been shocked and not knowing what to do either. And she did do the right thing. But did she do the right thing because she did the right thing? Or did she do the right thing so that we wouldn't look at her? Because I guarantee you, King told them she was there. Oh, Jarvis's sister was there. Oh, he told him. And he probably told her, I told him that you were there because you didn't do anything. Oh, why'd you put me in it? Man, You put yourself in it when you showed up that day, whether you had something to do with it or not. She had to. So when somebody have to tell because they're saving their own butt, she's not telling. I don't believe she's telling because she's just doing the right thing. I mean, she is doing the right thing, but I don't believe that that is the reason why she called Shannon Jones. I believe she called Shannon Jones is because her name would have came out and stuff would have hit the fan. You guys understand what I'm saying? And that doesn't make her guilty of anything because shoot, I'm just telling you, I would have been like, I don't want to tell him either. You know, even if I didn't do anything, I don't want to be involved. Don't even say my name. Now you sitting there, you looking at me talking about I was there. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to call these people and I gotta get the story right. Or they're gonna put me in this equation. And I'm not. I don't know what y'all did after I left. I don't know. I just know that if you're telling me I was there, you done told them that. Yeah, I believe that they were watching her, waiting on the phone call. You know, Jarvis to the sister, and all of that. But she got on that stand, and when I look at her cry, I don't think those tears for Naziah. I think those are tears of, you know, she could have done something. She could have noticed. She could have helped. Even though she didn't know that he put her in the middle of something she didn't want to be in the middle of. I'm just being honest. Because she did sit on that stand and she mouthed the words, I love you. She told her brother, I love you. And that tells me she loves her brother. I don't even want to be up here. I didn't. You could have did it any other day. Why did y'all have to do something on the day that I showed up? Or it could have a whole different, that's just one scenario. It could have a whole different scenario that you was a part of this equation. You showed up. You followed her to the bathroom. You made sure she didn't run. You made sure she didn't pass out or whatever. Or you gave her, helped her drink the antifreeze or something. I mean, that could be a part of the equation. We don't know. But for right now, we don't want to throw somebody underneath the bus. There's no evidence that she's a part of hurting this little girl. But it's a possibility. But it could be just what she say. She was there. She was there to get her car looked at. She seen the little girl. She didn't know who she was. She had this colorful jacket on. Everybody knows about this colorful jacket, but she didn't see her face. And she didn't even know that was, she was there to see Jarvis. She said, Jarvis said it was Keen's niece. That could be true. It don't have to be true, but it could be. But I'm just saying it could be true. I don't know. Sometimes you have to take what people say until you learn a little bit more of some information. And like I said, when I learned that the new little girl that came out said that the aunt picked her up and took her over to her dad's house. The first time the little girl meeting her dad, and then he rubbed her down with lotion. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you know what? I just really do not believe in coincidence. I just don't. I'm not saying, hey, people are saying, hey, here's a little girl to pedophile, go rub her down. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, here's my problem. Would you take your daughter and let him spend the night with Jarvis? Or have you? Have you let your daughter spend the night with Jarvis? And have your daughter told you what went down? Because I believe he has no filter when it comes to a child. Like any child is touchable to him. Anybody should have asked the question, like, what y'all got this little girl over here? Yeah, Carla, like, what y'all got this little girl over here in a man's shop? Oil and tires. What the heck they cleaning up? Only thing y'all doing is oil and tires. No running water. No bathroom. So how y'all cleaning? What you cleaning up? What are you cleaning up? That's what I want to know. If you guys can answer that question, I'm finna get off of here, but if you guys can answer that question, what these little girls cleaned up at an oil and tire shop, you let me know. Zena, my mother didn't play that either. I think I did it maybe. I probably got to spend the night at my cousin's house, and that's it. And that was a little bit too much because when kids get together, they do stuff. Now, just because they was my cousins, I mean, nothing sexual ever happened, but you fight and you might go out and steal a piece of candy at the candy store together. Stuff like that, stay up all night talking about each other or whatever. So nothing really bad happened when I spent the night over my cousin. But no, I didn't get to spend the night over little girls' houses either. And at the time, I would hear about other girls be like, girl, go ask your mama, can you spend the night? Can you spend the night? And my mama would always say, no, don't ask me. So we just quit asking. And I never got to do that. But I guarantee you, half of the people in here can tell you about spending the night over somebody's house and what happened. Because this stuff is not new. This stuff is not new. We act like it's new. It's not. I'm just saying, you guys. Anyway, today's the 21st. We got Christmas in July coming. I think it's going to be like July the 28th. I got to check my calendar to see if I work. But we're giving away a lot of money on July the 28th. If you got a ticket, you got a ticket. If you ain't got a ticket, get a ticket. The only way to get a ticket is to either come in here, be the first three to come in, and the last three with the most interaction that this chat says the top fans that interact in the live, you get free ticket. And it's all really basically a lot of free tickets, you guys. So if one ticket can win. And we're giving away nothing but money. And it's going to be somewhere around about July the 28th. I think July the 28th is actually Christmas in July Day. So we hope that we can always do it on that day. Let me see who the top three is because I'm going to get off of here. We got Lisa T. She's number one. Let me put it down here. Lisa T, blue and blue and blue. Lisa T. Zena is one. And Corey. Cordy. Corey, you have earned a free ticket. We're interacting today. Make sure you guys show up. It will be in the evening around about 5 5 to 8 p.m. We'll figure out the time, but we will post it, and it will be posted that you got tickets in this Christmas in July. You just show up. You can't win if you're not there. I'm letting you guys know. So you be like, OSP, I heard that you called my name. And yeah, I did, but you wasn't there. So the game keep going and somebody else got blessed. You guys make sure you show up. I see a lot of mods in there, but I mean, it's all good. I'll see you guys later. Have a peaceful weekend and, well, not weekend, but a day, you guys, and I'll see you around. Bye.